So your program 2 deals with states and stuff. And so one thing I mentioned in the other section, have you ever thought about what's up with some of the shapes of the states? Have you ever thought about it? I don't. If you're into geography or something, maybe you've paid attention or thought things like that.
States are really boxy, and they're square.
Uh-huh. United States map. Just a quick look. And so that's the Google map. Let me see maybe one of these. Yeah. So yeah, we have different shapes on our states and stuff. Texas is a great example, right? Texas is a really funky shape, right? So there's different factors that have influenced the shapes of our states, right? And there are different types of factors. Some are geographical, like it could be, look at Texas for example. What is the southern border is the Rio Grande River, right? So sometimes there are things like rivers, right? And along the eastern and northern part of the state there, most of that is the Red River, right, I believe. Although, if I remember correctly, the Red River kind of goes off maybe up into Arkansas and around Louisiana some too, I think, right? And some of that's historical and economic, probably in nature as well. Some of these other states may have wanted access to the Red River, those types of things, right? And of course, Texas has this funky panhandle thing on the north, right? And of course, historically, if you studied any kind of Texas history, the original shape of Texas was not that, right? It actually it was this weird shape that went all the way up north into Wyoming and stuff, right? Historical Texas map, right? It's like that. Where was it? Like that. So when Texas joined the United States, they changed things up a little bit, right? It actually originally included part of New Mexico there too, right? And so why does Texas, for example, has the panhandle, and why doesn't it not go all the way up to Kansas and Colorado? Why does Oklahoma have a panhandle? What's up with that?
Because of the latitude that there was a deal that was made during before Civil War where they had that states below a certain latitude couldn't be slave states.
Right, exactly. So back before the Civil War, when there was debates about slavery and stuff like that, they had some treaties and stuff and some rules that the country had set up about slave states and free states, and some of those things were based on. There was one treaty that said you couldn't have a slave state above a certain parallel, right, or something like that. And so that's why when Texas joined the Union, they wanted to join, I guess, as a slave state or whatever. So that's why they put it there instead of all the way up. And of course, Oklahoma wasn't even a state at that point. It was just it was a territory. So anyway. And, a lot of these states are more boxy, like you mentioned. But anyway, if you're really interested in the shapes of states, there's a good book. Let's see. There's a good book that you can check out. It's called How the States Got Their Shapes. How the shapes got their states. They actually turned it into like a TV show on the History Channel for a while. So if you're looking for the book, you might need to search for How the Shapes Got Their States book. And the original book is this one, Mark Stein, how the states got their shapes. And then there was a part 2, I guess, how the states got their shapes to the people behind the borderline. So I haven't looked at that one. I don't have that yet. But anyway, it's a real interesting book. So they talk about, factors that influenced all those things, and also they go state by state and explain how those different states got their borders, and maybe some of the weird things that you see on here. Like, what's up with Minnesota? Look at Minnesota. What's up with that little thing at the top, right? It's just weird. And Missouri. Look at Missouri. What is up with this little thing that it goes across, at a certain parallel or whatever, except for this part. And there's other weird states too, like over in New Mexico and Arizona. What's up with that little dip down there? And what are some other weird things? Pennsylvania, the same way, right? It's got this little part. They probably wanted access to Lake Erie right there. And so anyway, it's a good book. So anyway, that's my plug for the book. All right. One other thing that I talked about in the other section. Do you guys like riddles and stuff? So like at the beginning of the semester, I talked about the alien hat riddle, right? So are you familiar with liar truth teller problems? Have you ever heard those? We've been talking about logical expressions and true and false stuff. So I think these are kind of fun. So you never heard any of the liar truth teller problems? Okay. So there's different versions and different problems. So here's like the one that I usually tell first. So it usually goes something like this. So you're walking through the jungle, right? Sometimes I think that it's like a missionary or somebody, but anyway, so you're walking through the jungle, and a couple of things. There's 2 tribes of people in the jungle, okay? There's one tribe that are all truth tellers, right? So they always tell the truth, no matter what it is. They're going to tell the truth, okay? You got another tribe, another group, and they're liars. They're going to lie about everything. No matter what you ask them, they are going to lie about it, okay? And so you're coming along down this path, and you're trying to get to your location, to a specific place, and you come to a fork in the road, okay? And so you don't know which way is the correct path. One path will lead you to your destination. The other path will lead you to your ultimate doom or whatever, right? And there's 2 people there. One is a truth teller, and one is a liar. But you don't know which one is which. You don't know who is the truth teller and who is the liar, okay? And so you are allowed to ask one question, okay? You're only allowed to ask one question. So you want to ask, the goal is to ask, one question that will reveal to you which way is the correct path to take. Okay. So there's a couple of things you can assume. You can assume that the truth teller and the liar know who each other are. So the truth teller knows that the other guy is a liar, and the liar knows that the other guy is a truth teller. You can also assume that they both know which way is the correct path. So you can assume those 2 things. So you can only ask one question. So initially, a lot of people might think, well, I can ask them something that I know the answer to, right? So you might ask, and you can ask either person, this question. You might ask something like, what is 2 plus 2? And if they say 4, that's the truth teller. And if they say 5 or something else, that you're talking to the liar, right? But the problem with that is that's your one question. You've wasted your one question on trying to figure out who is the truth teller and who is the liar. You still don't know which way to go. So that's the problem. So you want to ask one question that will reveal which way is the correct path. So, And I'll give you a hint. What would be a good hint there? A hint would be that the liar and the truth teller both know who each other are. The truth teller knows the other guy is the liar, and the liar knows the other guy is the truth teller. Okay. So, anyway, so that's my riddle for you for the day. So I'll let you think about that, but don't think about it during the quiz. Okay, don't let that mess you up during the quiz. And then we'll talk about the answer next time. And then if you want another one, there's another one that's even more messed up than that. It's called the toggler riddle. It's another truth teller liar riddle. It's called the toggler riddle, and it's more complicated than that. So, all right, cool. Questions? All right. I'm going to stop this and let's do the quiz.